All right, welcome back to the last Re-Up podcast, guys.
What's up, everybody?
next
How
to
everybody
me,
doing?
I got B.
What's up?
Next to him, I got I Am, and next to him, I
Hello.
got Chai.
Hello.
Yo,
Yo,
today is beautiful. That's why we're doing it outside today.
It is a
Yeah.
beautiful day.
Yo.
This is rare, guys.
Mhm.
Minnesota, there's 8 months of winter and 4 months of.
Spring, summer.
2 months of
I
summer,
don't know.
2 months of rain, right?
Yeah, it's terrible
Hell
here.
yeah.
Don't live here.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
That's
true.
what the governor was
That's
like.
true.
You know what? We're gonna take the Hmong people and put in the shittiest state, and boom, Minnesota. Pretty much. Nobody lived in Minnesota, so we moved it to Minnesota.
Man, how's everybody's day going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Really good.
Tired, but good.
Yeah.
You were just featured on Care 11 again, man. You just doing it and doing it
Yeah.
and doing it.
Times in 2 weeks, bro.
Can you sign my arm?
We was
So-
about to get famous.
Next time.
I want to get a tat.
I'm getting there. Of me?
Hey, can we go with
Or
you
your
to the
signature.
studio? Would they let us bring people in?
Yeah. I think so.
Dude,
Just
we
come
could
hang
be
out.
we could
Yeah.
be your
yeah, like we're
bodyguards.
your assistants.
We
or
can be
something.
your bodyguard.
Hey, but the only thing that I require is that all of us to have aprons on.
Even though we're just standing there.
Aprons with shades.
yeah.
And little, like,
and just
fake Bluetooth things so we could just like.
and go.
Guards. Everybody wearing all black.
And go. Just make it more
It's
legit.
all about marketing, guys. We just gotta market I Am to be bigger than he really is.
That's hard.
The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed.
Stupid.
Fucking Kim Jong Un comes out.
But that's freaking hard. Personality wise, it's like you got to be on top, just like that. To switch, boom. Once cameras roll, it's, hey, how are you doing? Doing good? Yeah, I'm doing great.
You just put into character that fast.
Yeah, it's kind of like a facade, but it's necessary to get that kind of momentum.
You gotta fake it. You gotta have like energy and all
I
that
don't think I
stuff.
would call it fake or facade, but it's a like you turn on your professional side, you know. Yeah.
Can
it's
I-
Like it's like a boxer, right?
Mhm.
They're probably chill as heck at home, but once you're in the ring, you know they're gonna try to kill somebody.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
can I hear your professional side real quick?
My professional side.
Yeah,
Three,
yeah, okay.
Sell us this
Alright,
water.
Yeah, you're cooking
Three.
us a dish
Sell
right
us
now.
this water.
3, 2, 1. Professional
Oh,
side.
wait,
Come on.
give me an occupation though. So give me.
A doctor.
You want to sell a vacuum? Sell us a vacuum. Sell us.
Y'all want me to sell or just be?
I don't know. Talk about a vacuum.
I'll be a
Okay,
doctor.
so
Let me be a
yeah.
doctor.
Okay.
Okay. Hi B, how are you today? My name's
Okay.
Dr. Moore. I'll be here to check your balls today.
Okay.
Cough. No.
Cover
No,
me.
but just the way you talk, you know, like I used to work in a pharmacy, so
Right.
obviously you're not gonna swear. I swear. I wouldn't say
I
that
swear.
often, but you know, your everyday talk when I'm hanging out with my guys, you know, it's
Yeah, of course.
it's more casual. It's what's up, dude.
And then you gotta speak like proper English and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You gotta use the correct terminology.
But even when you go into a professional field like that, they even actually make you take speaking classes.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's
So pharmacy, if you want to be a pharmacist, you actually have to pass a speaking exam.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or take speaking classes and speech courses.
Right.
You want to make sure all the pronunciation medications are right
Right.
Not too,
in a way.
Yeah,
And just explaining like how do you use this
Yeah.
perfectly or correctly if you
yeah.
don't OD or anything. Yeah.
My question too is that as growing up as a kid, was that like part of your dream to become like a pharmacist or
Oh.
in the medical field?
I don't know if I could say it was my dream, but it was a goal at one time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I can't say that it was like, oh, I want to grow up and be a pharmacist. But it definitely was, hey, I could do that. I'm going
Right.
to try to do that.
Was there like a specific pill that you couldn't pronounce?
No, I could pronounce almost all of them. I
Yeah.
mean, not at the beginning, of course, but
Mhm.
once you've been working for a while, I could pronounce
Mhm.
almost all of them.
There's some.
But even with names,
Mhm.
some pharmacists or people will pronounce it this way, like tomato, whatever,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with that.
And have you had? So you haven't had like trouble pronouncing it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Was being a chef part of your dream growing up?
No, I want to be a football player, but I ain't that big.
But you were born Asian.
Yeah, I was born Asian, so shit.
You were born to be a sideline training assistant, some sort of a
Some sort of doctor on the side, trainer.
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
Damn
man,
it.
those people should be the MVP though.
I could have been wiping
Yeah.
the NBA
Did you
floor.
see that NFL game where I forgot what his name is, but man, that was a pretty scary game to watch. The guy.
Which
actually-
one?
It was the
What team?
Bills game where that guy.
Oh, where he had a heart
Oh, when they
attack.
had a heart attack.
Oh,
He hit him
Yeah.
right in the chest and caused him to have a heart
Yeah.
He
attack.
stood up and then just like fell right back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like, man, you just look at that, you're like, man, those people should be getting paid more than they should.
The doctors or the players.
No, the doctors.
Okay.
Oh, I'm like the play. They already get paid.
Players, they already get paid like
Paid.
500,
Talking about the
600.
medical
Yeah.
staff, the medical team. You know, I just look at it as a teacher. You know, they should be getting paid a lot of money too. But
Yeah.
You think they get free medical?
Who?
NFL players or
Yeah.
athletes?
Yeah.
athletes,
I think
man,
athletes they
Mhm.
definitely
Damn.
do because they're it's like a franchise team thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they get, like it's the same thing as getting free jersey
Because
free
they got their
jersey every time.
doctors and everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're-
okay.
the trainers and stuff. The
yeah.
team pays for all that.
I mean, you're paying
Damn.
$2 million for a dude. Yeah, you better make sure he's in
mean,
the best shape.
one thing about that controversy about why does athlete gets paid so more is because they bring in that money, you know.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
do.
That if we take away everything at the end of the day, that's one of the main reasons why men's sports get paid way more is they just bring in that revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
all business, man.
Yeah, it's all business.
But
Would you guys do that though? Getting injured just to get paid on millions of dollars?
I'm not trying to get injured.
Like boxing, you could potentially die from boxing or have
Right.
brain.
Long
You know,
term.
yeah. Is 200 million worth it to you guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
I feel like if I was in that position, I wouldn't be fighting for the money. If it was something that I was passionate about,
yeah.
something I love doing, I wouldn't look at the money as like my goal.
Mhm.
Like if I was to be a, football player in that position that I want to be special in, I wouldn't care about how much I get paid. Well, honestly, I would care a little bit. I'll make sure that, I'm getting paid for what I'm worth.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, I'm going to jump ships, I'm going to jump team because, they're going to pay me more over there.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
see the Francis Ngannou one? The
Oh, yeah.
controversy with that, how he was offered $20 million for one championship, but he just wanted to keep more and more, and that's why he.
Is
signed
that
for
is that the real? I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but 20 million for one. I don't know because
not one fight, but they offered $20 million
for
for
his
Francis
next
Ngannou
contract.
for to come in for one championship.
Oh,
then
one. I was
He
thinking
just
UFC.
kept wanting more and more. He wanted board of directors, and now he's not fighting. It's been over a year.
20 million is a lot. Even boxers barely get that.
Mhm.
Like the only people that get that is like Canelo, Pacquiao, Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like, but they're like top 3 in the whole sport.
That's
Yeah.
because, like you said, they could bring in people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For MMA fight to pay one person 20 million is for me as far as I know is way too much to ask
Yeah,
for.
they
that
offered.
sport.
They offered to Francis, but he said no, and now he's kind of left
Yeah.
out of UFC and one championship.
Greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole part of it too. Just what do you do?
Yeah. I think MMA fighters don't get paid as much as boxing.
Yeah, on the lower tier,
Mhm.
UFC fighters get paid more in
Mhm.
terms of like fight of the night, knockout,
Mhm.
winner,
Mhm.
all the bonuses. When you add that up, I think that the lower tier fighters in UFC get paid more than low tier fighters in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
The undercard fighters, like low tier fighters in boxing, they make chicken scratch. They still have to go and
Pay the
work.
sponsors.
Yeah, they still have to go work a
doctor.
regular job just so they can afford their gym membership or their
That's
coaches
crazy.
and trainers.
Yeah.
And the thing about boxing is you have to pay for your own coach, trainers, healthcare.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Everything's on you. I think UFC, I don't know if their contract covers some of that stuff or not.
Mhm.
Boxing, I know for sure you have to pay everything
Pay
out of
it.
pocket.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Everybody gets everything. By the time you get yours,
Yeah, you're the last
you
guy
get
to
like
get
a
paid.
quarter.
Yeah,
or-
Yeah, I mean, then you're just an independent contractor in a way,
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
I know wrestling, WWE is like that. You have to pay for your own healthcare too.
Damn.
You're
travel.
independent. Yep, travel,
Yeah,
everything
travel.
you pay for.
Yeah.
Unless you're like the Undertaker, then
WWE. I thought WWE was fake, where they just bring in a group of people and
Well, I
They
mean,
work for WWE.
No, they're all the wrestlers are independent.
Independent?
contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
so
They
they're
make up-
contracted.
Yeah, they make up their contract for what happens next, storyline, story base, and all
yeah.
that.
If the company's gonna use you or not, if the company doesn't use you, they just cancel your contract.
Mhm.
Or if you want to jump ship, you can't even jump to another company in wrestling if they don't release you from your contract, or else
Mhm.
you'll get penalized and fined and sued. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, you're stuck. I mean, that's kind of cool though to get paid for not working. I guess if they're not using you on TV,
That's
you're kind of just sitting there, but your contract pays you.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just like NFL players, third
Yeah.
strings, second strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just listening to one, and they said like, why would you jump ship when you're making 120K? Being the dude, being the starter, but it's just like they invested so much money in the starter already that they're just gonna have the starter start while you're even better than the starter.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
would you
They
jump
they
ship?
want to try to make something out of that
Yeah.
money that they spent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
That kind of, for me, I kind of wonder, like, I'm actually pretty happy and pretty proud to say that as Hmong parents now, growing up, my parents, they would be so busy that they would never come to any of my sporting events or any of my games. And
How did that make you feel?
I don't know, honestly, at the time, you didn't really care because you were just so excited to play, soccer or football or whatever it is. But now you see that more often where, the dad goes and watches the sons play, in their sporting event. And, for me, I wish I had that growing up just to build a relationship,
Yeah, when you're a kid, you don't realize it consciously. Like
Yeah.
it hurts. You notice as a kid,
Yeah.
but now when you look back, it does make a difference.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine if that would have like started sooner. Maybe we would have more like pro athletes.
Yeah.
I feel like in other cultures, it's more like prevalent where
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, Saturday mornings? Nah, I can't join you guys for breakfast. I have to go to my kid's soccer game." And
Yeah.
that, like, dude, that's a huge like booster in my opinion.
Yeah, even like as a coach, right? I used to coach park Pee Wee leagues.
Yeah.
Like 8, 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, I used to play and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
where
used to-
my sideline is just the players and the coach, and then the
Yeah.
other sideline, dude, the whole family is there. Like, there's
Yeah.
80 of them on the sideline. You're just like, what
Yeah,
the
you
heck?
have those kids that their parents do show up, and you have those kids that their parents never show up to. Their parents drop them off at the park, and you as the coaches take them, come back, and then
Mm-hmm.
you even have to sit with them for like another 15 minutes waiting for their parents just to pick them up.
Right.
It is sad, especially
Yeah.
if you see it as an adult,
Mhm.
But
I mean,
You
there's
get
all an understanding of what it is. Like for me, like middle school was I went to all my football fields and my parents never came, but I just knew that they worked. So for me, it was just like, it's all right, they working.
But at the same time, it's not really our parents' fault though, because
Yeah.
they didn't have extracurricular activities,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
their parents never came to see them
Mhm.
at whatever.
Yeah, because you can't. I feel like you can't blame our parents for that because they didn't see sport as as a job.
Opportunity,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they focus more on education. They want you to focus on education.
Right.
So that's why we don't see a lot of Hmong athletes until now, our generation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't like what to what you were saying about education. Like, I don't blame them because like growing up where they grew up, like that's something like education is something that was like you had to have money to learn or to go to
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Mhm. If you couldn't afford the uniform, you couldn't go to school.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let you go to school if you couldn't buy a uniform.
Yeah, and so like here, school is
Yeah.
free. You can literally go
Yeah.
to school for free as as a little kid.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
the
push you to go to school more.
why minority kids have it tougher with the relationships with their parents is not only do we have our different generations, right, growing up at different times,
Mhm.
but we have a cultural difference as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how our parents grew up and how we're growing up
Yeah.
is way more different than if our parents just grew up in the 60s and we grew up in the 80s and then our kids are going to grow up in the 2000s.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a different time.
Mm-hmm.
But ours is the culture is totally different because we're taking on the Western culture and our parents are 100% our culture.
Yeah.
So now we're battling multiple fronts. We're butting heads and the languages too. The language is another variable. Like we were talking about the other day where you're saying, our parents will never say "I love you" out loud to us.
Oh yeah, it's rare, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just not affectionate as the Western society.
Yeah, or at least they don't show it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they show it through eating, through food.
They
That's
show
how
it
they
through willing to pay
Housing.
bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see this
that
light?
too. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Can you see? That's me loving you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you guys, understand at 18 you get kicked out of the house for certain culture and stuff.
Yeah, the Western culture,
Yeah.
a lot of younger people leave the house at 18.
Well, once you get 18, they kick you out.
Yeah, in
So-
one culture, it's bad if you leave the house. I mean,
Mhm.
it shows that you don't love your parents, that you're running away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
that you don't want to live with them. You don't want to take care of them.
Yep.
That's what it means if you try to leave the house before you're
Mhm.
married.
hmm
Yeah.
You don't give a shit about them and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Different culture like that. But how do you think that has affected you guys growing up, trying to balance different time eras and cultures and
Mhm.
language, and how did you guys do you guys think y'all came out okay, or
Language and all that stuff.
like all the variables between us and our parents
Mhm.
that creates that dynamic?
hmm
Yeah, I think I came out pretty well. I
That's
think
a
I
weird
do
question to
because
ask somebody.
it's
but-
like for me, I went through like 5 different schools of boonies to suburban to inner city. So I got to see all 3 or 4 aspects of different people. And so like for me, it was just like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah, but that creates who you are, makes you unique.
Yeah,
So you gotta
Yeah.
be proud of who you are. as a
yeah,
person,
exactly. So it's like I saw 4 or 5 different sets of just cultures and systems of poverty differently. So I got to see all of it.
Is it weird that you get to see like how a country boy lives, and then you get to see how the city people live?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Totally
Full
different.
on
Yeah,
inner
that's another
city,
variable
yeah,
too.
full
on
Our
inner
parents
city.
were farmers,
Mhm.
so now we're living in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
totally different.
That's cool though, cause I feel like for me, you'll be judged for obviously for who you are, but and that's with life too. People's gonna judge you no matter what. But as you get older and you learn, people don't even care about you. You just gotta do what you need to do. People are gonna judge regardless, but at the end of the day, like,
You just gotta live your life.
yeah, they don't know who you are.
Yep.
People could call me weird and stuff like that, but I'm just like, dude, I'm unique. There's only one of me. And then, like, in your perspective and in your where you're coming from, like, you get to see the whole like perspective, the whole view,
Yeah.
and you see a brighter color.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah, and like how the countryside, they have their own education system where they're more behind. Cause kids up here were probably learning AP algebra at like freaking 8th grade
Oh yeah, I struggled in sophomore year.
or 5th grade.
Yeah,
Look at my little sister; she's learning AP freaking math or algebra in like 3rd grade. I mean, not 3rd grade, but like 5th grade and stuff.
There's
You know?
already starting to learn
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly.
I started that sophomore year.
She asking me for help. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Shit, you got to Google it. I don't know what that.
Hell yeah,
I can't
that's
help
true.
you.
Once you got kids, you're like, man, I gotta learn fractions again.
But
No.
dude, so crazy though? Like, it's so crazy how you have your phone and you can just look up like ways to learn things now. Like, I wish back when I was still in school, like, we had that kind of, I wouldn't say cheat code, but that kind of privilege.
Yeah, that's true. They say ignorance is a privilege now. You have one of the ignorance is a privilege in the sense of you have like the strongest device in your hand to just
You shouldn't be
education.
ignorant.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
Yeah.
ignorant.
So the fact
Yeah.
that you're
get that
ignorant, it
sense.
just shows
Yeah.
that you're
afford
just
to
choosing
be-
not to learn. or
Yeah.
you just
Ignorant
refuse.
and
Like
Still
now
be
you just
successful.
ignorant.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So knowing what you know now, right? And
Right.
the dynamic between you and your parents.
Uh-huh.
This is just hypothetical, and please no cop out answers like, well, I want to be in the middle, like that. No bad. If it's a yes or no, would you go back and switch it up? Like, would you have wanted parents to be more westernized and
No.
come to your sporting games and
Nope.
understood this about Western culture, or are you guys appreciative of how you guys are now because of what happened?
For me, I think I wouldn't change anything because it made me realize that they had a role they had to play. They had nothing coming here.
Yeah.
It's not like they had all the time in the world. So for them, their whole goal is to provide.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so for me, not seeing my parents there for my events or stuff like that, it just
You understood why.
I understood why, and it showed me a different and a deeper meaning of love.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was to be, a dad or in your towards your question, I would definitely change it up because I see how much it hurted me,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't let my kids
Experience that feeling.
experience that or go through that. But at the same time, you're almost like, damn, you know what? Maybe they do need to experience that sometimes.
I don't know. For me, I think I would go back
Yeah.
because I did want to play sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did want to play sports, and the only reason why I didn't play was because my parents were always busy.
Yeah.
Parents was always busy. They didn't have time to come pick you up, and school was like freaking 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So going to school, pick them up, and everything would be already an hour. You really lose an hour. So I didn't want to be the hassle. I didn't
Yeah.
want to, hassle them and to pick me up every day because
Yeah.
practice would be every day. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. So yeah, I just kind of left it at that and didn't play any sports. I would have loved to play sports, but I guess
Would you would have been on the cheerleading team?
Bad. Bad.
yeah, I would have. Yeah,
Bad.
maybe.
Any kind of
Dude.
Yeah, even.
The school I went to.
I don't know,
Arkansas,
maybe
their
not
cheerleading
cheerleading.
team was
But I wasn't banned.
shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the South, cheerleading is actually big as
Yeah.
heck.
Yeah.
It's not what it is
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
The school that I went to, their
Oh, yeah.
cheerleading team was legit. Like they had like 30 dudes and 30 cheerleaders. I'm like, I want to be one of the cheerleaders. Yeah, like legit.
Like I'm not saying it as a joke. I'm saying it because it's the real
Yeah,
thing.
it's like
it
kids.
depends on what part of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like I said, I wasn't in band. We did do freaking band practice, but it wasn't after school. It was always during school. So I could do that, but I can't go and play football.
What instrument did you play?
The clarinet.
No, dude, that's not even a
Yeah,
real
bro.
thing.
Piccolo.
I'm just
Real.
joking.
Hey,
I
wait,
played-
wait. I played the flute.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
every.
flute though, no,
It's like everybody played the recorder though.
yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
joking,
They
but
don't even have that now. I don't think they teach that at school nowadays.
Music class.
Yeah, music class. Do they teach that?
I don't know,
A
man. You're the
recorder.
one with kids.
I don't know either.
Let us
We'll
know in
find
like a
out.
couple of years.
Yeah.
到解释，哎呀是东 J 和洛丽哦。I played the trumpet though.
Yeah.
Trumpet was pretty cool.
The things that I didn't know how to read notes, so I just play by ear.
Dude.
You
dude.
that talented?
I wouldn't say I'm not.
Thing was a
talented,
Nick
but-
Canyon.
Or like if I can't match that
Thing was
tone, then
a-
I just don't play
Thing
it.
was a drum line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't play it. I just don't play that note.
Nice.
But
You should try to pick up music again then, like instrument wise, like guitar or.
maybe guitar is kind of hard to learn. I tried, but I gave up after 3 days.
Thing's whole world slows down just like Nick Canyon.
Bro,
Harmonica.
a harmonica would be pretty nice.
Because
Yeah.
you have your notes on there.
Hmm.
And I bought a harmonica and I tried for 3 days. No, I still have
Yo,
it.
we should pick up an instrument and start playing.
That could be one of our challenges. like,
Yeah.
everybody pick an instrument, and after a month,
Yeah, you
we
come
gotta
back.
do a little 1 minute performance. or 2 minute performance.
It's hard. Have you ever tried piano right now? Using your left and right at the same time? It's a lot of like thinking
Yeah.
and just like
I think it's just all muscle memory once it gets to the.
So now, just I know we like to go out on tangents and stuff.
Yeah,
But to just bring it back around though, like, what about your kids, right? I know you guys talked about a little bit, but your kids, are you gonna be that? Hey, study. Your future is more important, or you're gonna be that? I'm gonna come to all your games and whatever you like to do, and not that we don't support our kids, right?
I would definitely be more open to it. Yeah.
Like if our kid doesn't like school,
Hmm.
we'll support them in finding alternatives.
Mm.
I don't know if you want to go that far.
My kids are getting homeschooled.
My
With the school system nowadays, yeah, my kids are getting homeschooled.
yes. You better learn AP algebra, boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna marry a teacher. I
Yeah,
am
like,
marrying a
I
teacher.
mean, I am has kids. I guess he could go first. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I thought about it, but it's still a lot of thinking process of just like, it's a lot of work. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, I want to be there for my kids, but it's also like, I just gotta work.
Well, that's the thing is that now you
Just
got to
gotta
work your
work.
butt off now,
well, not so
where
much
you can
about just
afford.
being like
Yeah.
being busy, right?
Yeah.
Because we understand that if our parents are busy,
Mhm.
they're busy.
Hmm.
I'm talking about like if our parents say no, you can't do this. You should
Oh.
focus on
Oh no.
school or
Mhm.
like, you know what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
we were talking about how sports is just a game to them. It's not a real opportunity.
Yeah.
Like when you guys have kids or when we have kids, how do you guys navigate that?
There's
Or
a push and pull.
Yeah.
I believe that if they were to give me an alternative of like football, for example, if this season they didn't want to play, I personally would still push them to, hey, just finish out the season. If you don't like it next year, you don't have to play. But from that, if they finish out the season, reconnect with your friends or get more friends or whatever, and they actually enjoy it, then it builds up the confidence. But if they don't like it, then yeah, by all means.
I mean, well, you got to look at all these star athletes though. They didn't become star just because they played half here and half there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
committed their whole
Yeah.
life as
Yeah.
a kid
yeah.
to that sport.
Yeah, like Tiger Woods played when he was like
Mhm.
8 years
Hmm.
old.
Yeah, LeBron just didn't become LeBron because he just started up
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want your kids to be good at sports, you're gonna have to commit with that kid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just not that kid's commitment; it's
Yep.
also yours. Yeah, so you're gonna be losing a lot of money, money and time.
You spend
Yeah.
4 years to be a baseball player, and then they don't play the next year.
You better get a college scholarship or something.
Yeah. What about you, B? Have you thought about kids and like that part of being a parent?
I've thought about it, and it's really hard to judge and really hard to juggle things. I would personally say, I wouldn't know how to, I guess, go about it until when it actually happens. It's such a tough, position to be in as a parent. I honestly don't know how to answer that question because there's really no wrong or right to this, but
Yeah,
it's
it'll
tough.
happen right in the moment when you have that kid, when you just know what to do.
Blue
Just wanna-
football player.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of
Yeah.
those like, do they want to play sports? Maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think what I will do is, obviously as a father, when you watch your kid grow up, you're gonna know what they're more talented in, what they excel
Yeah.
more in, and you as their parent, you can just maybe like turn them into the right position.
Yeah.
You can't really push them to do things,
Yeah.
but you could just be that guide for them, and if it's something that they want to jump into, then that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Because like for me, if I was to have a kid that was not athletic but intellectually very smart, very good with problem solving, so you know what, maybe you might be better at more educational stuff.
Spelling bee, yeah.
I'm not gonna push you to play freaking football if you're not even athletic, or I'll look at what his strengths and his weaknesses are, and
Yeah.
me as a parent would try to.
Of course, it's just like looking at extracurriculum stuff. If they're good at band, of course. If they wanna, music, pursue music, that's fine too. Or if they wanna do some other stuff after school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
cool.
what I would try to tell my kids is like, I'm not trying to push you to be the next Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna push you to be the best you.
The better Kobe Bryant.
Not even that, I just want them to be the best of them.
Yeah, and if they don't make $100 million contract,
That's
okay.
fine too. It's
As long as they win 100.
yeah. At least you're happy with what you're doing.
Right.
Like
When it
I'm.
comes to like some stereotype, especially Asian stereotypes, like we force our kids to become doctors, lawyers, violinists, pianists. Like go into music and just
Hmm.
even like ping pong, right? Like
Mhm.
just hardcore training from the age of
Badminton.
4 years old. Like, is that right? In your opinion, is that okay to do with your kids?
Man, that is a hard question to answer.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's even push it farther. Like, okay, your kid will be one day a super successful millionaire pianist, but then you have to put him through the,
the
Do the
ring.
grind.
rate.
Yeah, when your
That's
kid
just-
doesn't want to practice, you're gonna stand there and make your kid practice.
Yeah.
Is that okay to do for a kid?
That's
Even if
that's
you
the hard
knew
part.
that they were gonna be a
Mhm.
millionaire in that area later
Mhm.
on, or be super famous or successful, is that okay?
But like I said, you can't become Kobe Bryant or LeBron James without your parents pushing you. You know,
Yeah.
so you do need it. There's gonna be time where that kid is probably gonna feel like not going in that day, but you're gonna be like, nope, you gotta go in. You gotta go in, because that builds character.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
does
not
build
necessarily your like direct parent, but a parent figure.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it teaches discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just more of it just is like you gotta go do the work, bro.
That's just how life
Yeah.
is, you know.
Yeah,
No
you
matter
just gotta
what,
go.
you're gonna have good days. You're gonna
But are
have
you
bad
guys
days.
gonna, if you knew that your kid was gonna be a successful football player, would you do everything to make him play football every day, even on the days that he doesn't want to play?
Mhm. I think I would.
You
I
would.
would push him. Yeah.
What if your kid didn't want to play football at all, but he's just super good at it?
I would push him.
Okay.
I'm forcing. okay, I take
But
that
what's
back.
the
I
difference
wouldn't force
from
him,
that
but I would
and then
push
pushing
him.
your kids to being a doctor is the same idea. isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is the same
thing.
idea.
Yeah. So being a doctor is not okay, but being an athlete is okay just
Mhm.
because there's more money. Does money make it okay?
Everybody's got a number,
course.
right?
At the end of the day, it is.
Everybody's got
gonna
a number.
be about money.
Yeah. So the question is kind of personal to you
Yeah.
guys personally.
Hmm.
Will you be that parent that forces your kid?
I would. Yep. I would instill that into my kid.
It would be a yes because it's like if you're naturally talented at it, you better work hard because there are other kids who's gonna work harder than you. If you were just gonna sit around and be lazy with your talent, you're never gonna be successful. That's just me. Yeah,
I'm just gonna have to agree with what I am said.
yeah,
You know, honestly, you know, of course you want your kid to do what they love, obviously, but you know, if they want to not use that talent and let it go to waste,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, you know, you could have been. But I think it doesn't really matter. I know I'm kind of like contradicting myself a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, it's what they want to do with their life.
yeah. Because
So ultimately, what would you do with your kid though? Would you force him or not force him? If you had to give an answer right now,
I probably won't.
won't force him.
Yeah, but I mean, like what I said, you know, like I agree if I am too,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm just like, you know, it's my kid's life because I didn't want to do some things that my dad and my mom pushed me to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I was good at it, but you know, I just gotta live with my my decisions.
Yeah. For me, I think I've experienced being forced to do something I don't want to do,
Yeah,
and so I would never force my kids to do something, even if they're good at it.
Mhm.
If they don't want to do it, I'll never force them.
But
Right.
don't you think that builds character in you and makes you as a better person?
No,
Where,
because you're just being forced.
mm,
It's not real.
hmm
You're doing it because you're scared. You're doing it because you don't know any better. But once you, for me now, like I said, I would never force them because it's not fair to them to make a kid live out your dream.
I wouldn't say force, but I will push him.
I wouldn't even push him because if it's something that he wants to do, okay, then you could encourage him to don't give up.
Hmm.
But I would never force a kid to be like, go play football because you're good at it. You know, you don't quit. I'm not gonna let you quit.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. If he doesn't want to do it, if it doesn't bring him joy, if he loves to do it, but he's just like, I'm tired today, I don't want to practice, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, no. get
Yeah,
up,
that's what I'm
we're gonna
talking
go
about.
outside.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like, you're gonna grow up to be a basketball
Yeah,
player.
of course.
No
Yeah.
matter
Yeah, no,
what.
no, no. Yeah,
you're
that's
gonna
not
be
what
a
I'm saying. Yeah.
basketball
Yeah.
player
Or you're gonna
at
be-
5 feet
yeah.
3 inches.
I'm gonna lock you in your room until you finish your homework because you're gonna be the doctor.
Yeah, now you're being too extreme.
now
Yeah,
that's
no,
too-
nobody's
But
gonna
that's
talk
what my
about this.
question
Yeah,
is. The
yeah.
word when I'm saying force,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is
yeah.
choose your path for your
Mm.
kids.
Oh no, no,
So
no.
you
no.
guys would never choose your path.
No.
No.
If he wants to, like I said, if he wants to be in the band or if he wants to be
Okay.
football player, basketball player, that's fine. But
Yeah.
if there's a day where he doesn't feel like going in, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're going in. You committed to this, so
Yeah.
you're going in.
Yeah, yeah.
That part. But
Yeah.
to be like what you said, to live out my dreams,
Yeah.
you know, that no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Do you think that our parents try to live out their dreams in us?
I think they want us. No, I think they want us to
No.
be educational. Like they didn't like I said, they didn't want us to go into sports and all that stuff. So they wanted us to be focused on school and all that stuff.
You wanna know why, Fink? Because like both the ci sa polo tu tomo.
Nah, I doubt it. I mean, that is true
Yeah.
too,
That's
though.
one of the reasons.
Yeah, that is one of the
I
reasons.
almost did wrestling in school,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
my parents was like, no, so I play football.
That's
instead.
also one thing why I didn't play football was because my parents was telling me back then as a kid I was small too.
Yeah.
I was scrawny. I was like 80 pounds and shit. I would be playing against motherfuckers
Native
I am's
Americans.
age.
Oh,
and
they were
stuff.
huge.
So
I
Yeah.
remember I got laid out by this
Better
like
make sure you
6'5"
run
dude.
fast,
yeah. So
6'5"? What are you?
A middle
in
school.
third grade?
I freaking got laid out in middle school by a 6'5" dude. I was like, holy
No, not a 6'5".
No, dude was 6'5".
Like literally. 6'5".
Literally 6'5"
In
in,
the middle
middle
of your
school.
school.
A redneck motherfucker laid my ass out, dude. I was like,
6'5"
holy
because you're
shit.
2'11".
Check the time on that. real quick.
Legit.
no, we good.
Like,
We good.
Oh, no, on that one.
there's just some people who just grow big, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some kids down there. I don't know what they feed them.
Hell yeah.
Crawdads.
Corn, bro. Corn.
They are big.
Yeah, some kids are
dude.
just big.
Yeah, so we saw a video not too long ago where, and I'm not even sure if this video is true or not, but we were just watching different podcasts and vlogs. I think B, you're the one who posted it up for us to share it. But it was an
Yeah.
Indian guy who was talking about how Indian kids statistically
Oh.
have the highest rate of success, right?
Right,
Financially, career-wise, because their families are kind of strict in a way, or whatever the statistics,
Right.
right? Is that okay? Like, if let's say those statistics are true, right? But now in the community, there's no mainstream role models, as in celebrities like movie actors, singers, writers. There's no big mainstream role models in the community. But yes, they are very, very career success wise.
Mhm.
Let's say that video is true, right?
Just Indian people.
Well, that was an Indian podcaster, and he was bringing up
Oh,
Indian
okay. For his
statistics.
statistics. Okay.
I mean, the statistics were based off of all kids of different ethnicities and stuff.
Yeah.
But according to him, Indian kids were the most successful
Mhm.
academically, financially, career-wise. Like doctors, lawyers,
Mhm.
engineers.
It's because their parents push them.
Yeah, but
What Chai's trying to say
Yeah,
is
is
like
that
because they're
okay?
being forced to
yeah,
do
just
that.
it's because they're being forced to. That's why we don't see the mainstream role models for Indian kids, like like I said, like celebrities and
Influencers,
Athletes.
yeah.
Because the parents don't want them to focus on that.
right.
Education.
So they're forced to go the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Like, would you want successful kids like that way, or would you want your kids to take risk and?
Take risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more the do what you want that makes you happy. Don't worry, I'll always be here
But
for you.
you gotta look at the end goal though.
Yeah.
Look at them now. Now they're successful. They're doctors, investors, and billionaire companies and stuff.
Yeah.
So you take risks now. At the end, you live a happy life.
Well, the thing what Chai's trying to say is
Yeah.
that it wasn't their dream to be a
You
doctor,
don't have
but
a top person in your community.
Yeah.
You don't have a movie star to be a role model. You don't have an athlete.
I don't care. I don't think that
I don't-
matters.
Yeah, I don't think that matters to them because
Your
that's not what they
community?
want to be represented as a movie actor or some stuff.
I mean, I think every culture wants to be
Yeah.
representative. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm not
Mainstream
speaking
wise?
like in the movie,
Because
wise.
when Slumdog Millionaire won, like all the Indian people, actors, and people.
That's
in the
kinda
industry
how
so happy though.
Bollywood
so much
blew up,
pride.
too.
Yeah. So it's like that. Like,
Mhm.
don't we all crave for a role model like that?
Yeah, but where is he now?
What
The actor.
It's not about the actor. It's about
Just
Hey,
that one
a
slight.
Bollywood movie making it to the top.
it's
Mhm.
that
So
one.
now
moment,
other
yeah.
movies can know that. Like Sunisa Lee, right?
Mhm.
Is such an important figure in our community.
And that was the debate too
Yeah.
about our parents.
Right, and that brings it back to our parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sunil Lee is such a big role model, especially to the younger generation. First gold medalist Hmong athlete
Yeah.
ever. Like, how proud are we?
Yeah.
Closer.
I've never met her, but I'm so proud to be Hmong because she's representing me,
Mhm.
right? But bring it back to that video we saw. If Indian kids don't have any role models, is that a problem? Is that sacrificing your dreams and goals and stuff like that. Okay, just to make sure.
But you also gotta remember though, this also go back to Sunice Lee. At one point, she wanted to quit too, but her dad pushed her to continue gymnastics.
Right,
so.
but that's what I'm saying is like her father was lenient enough to let her follow her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was, according to this video, an Indian kid and he was just forced to be a doctor instead, and Sunita Lee was a doctor instead of a role model,
Gymnastic.
gold medalist,
I mean,
what kind of weight does that put on your community? What kind of,
well, technically, she could still be a doctor. She could still be a lawyer and all this stuff. But the
Right.
thing is, she just won the Olympics, and that's how she became famous because she won the Olympics. So,
my question making sense? Like,
It makes
Yeah, it
sense.
makes
if
It's-
you're weighing two
Mhm.
things, right?
It's a tough question.
yeah, the
Yeah.
statistics is way high for here, but your consequences are you have no mainstream role model.
Yep.
Yeah.
Western culture, you have a lot of role models,
hmm
right? But then your academic success, your financial success rate
Is
is
lower.
low.
yeah.
Yeah. So where do Hmong people fall in, or where do you guys want your kids to fall in, or
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I think that's more of the. I think I would rather have them go for their dreams
yeah,
more because I'm doing that, and I might be struggling, but I get it. Go for it. Like you only have 80 years to do it, so go
Yeah.
for it. Don't
Not even-
Yeah,
60.
just go for it.
It's like
So
yeah.
62 for male
Americans don't even live that long.
Yeah.
Something like that?
Do you think that the Indians, they're playing it too safe?
What do you mean?
That's the question. Is
Yeah.
is
Is it?
not having mainstream role models okay? To yeah.
It's a yes and no question because it's like it's cool that I would love to see a representation of more Hmong people
Yeah.
in art. Like it's very cool whenever you do
Like
see
when
that.
Gran Torino came out,
Yeah,
right?
that
With
was
the
a
movie with Clint Eastwood. How
Mhm.
happy with
Yeah.
everybody, every Hmong person went to the movie.
Mhm.
theater.
yeah. Like that's cool. Like hey, that's us.
Yeah.
We're on TV. We can be on
Mhm.
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I am. Like I'm gonna tell you right now. You've been on
getting
TV
there.
twice,
And
man.
of course, it's also a
You're-
culture thing, so we can't talk from the culture. We don't know the Indian culture.
Yeah.
Right, right.
We're just talking based off the video we saw.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So
All right, yeah, let's keep it there. Let's go for a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
all right, welcome back from break, guys. We just left off about letting your kids chase their dreams and forcing your kids to do something they don't want versus that, right?
Right.
So I know one thing in the Asian culture is physical punishment, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about whooping kids, rubber band pops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about like abuse.
Coach,
Obviously, we all know child abuse is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm talking about instead of timeouts or getting your game taken away, you get knuckle to the head. Everybody know this, right?
Come on, Jacob, no se ko tu pao. Oh, Jacob,
Yeah.
pao.
So like whooping your kids like a spank or something like. Do you guys believe in that, or will you guys do that to your kids?
Child, let me just tell you one thing, right?
All right.
Oh shit.
There's
I already
just-
do it.
I'm listening.
There's just something about pain that makes a kid smarter. I'm telling you,
Pain
man.
is a very good teacher. I'm, not
Dude,
gonna
I'm
lie
telling you,
about
there's
that.
just something about pain that makes you 10 times smarter.
Are you smarter?
Hell yeah.
You never got whooped as a kid.
I'm smarter now.
Dude, imagine you got your ass hella kicked. You be a
Dude,
genius.
as smart as you be Einstein. Einstein got his ass whooped, bro. That's why he saw stars, dude. He saw the galaxy. He got his ass whooped so
okay,
much.
so I just look at it like this, right? Look at a dog, right? Let's just say the untrained dog. All right, if you tell that dog to come to you, that dog's gonna be running everywhere, barking everywhere. A car goes by, barks. Every little thing, a leaf falls, bark. All right. Put a shock collar on that dog. J-Lo-So.
You won't run across the street again.
Dude, that dog got smart as hell. You said, come here. He was like, I'm already here, bro.
Yeah.
He come over and do this with his paws. Okay.
Stupid as
He's
hell.
like, okay, daddy.
Yes, trainer.
Yeah, trainer. That's what your dog do me.
It's just more the attention. Just a quick snaps people out of it.
So you would?
I mean, I already do it, so Yeah, I mean, not like a physical abuse, like full on.
Right,
but
right.
It's a quick like, hey,
I'm not talking about like punch your kid. In the
yeah,
face.
like
Oh
it's a-
hell
it's
no!
a
I
quick,
would
like,
never
CPS?
do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah,
not that.
it's a quick just, hey, I need you to listen right now, and they'll look
So
up.
like, did you
Yeah.
like coach your kid, or what do you do?
I don't do the head. I do more just like a quick spank and then be like, hey, listen, and then they just fully
Yeah.
engage. You know,
Yeah.
'cause
It's more like a
kids-
physical like distraction. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
It's
like,
a-
To the mic.
yeah,
Not a like leave mark.
It's a love
Yeah.
mark.
yeah.
I call
It's
it
a
a
love
Healing
mark.
marks.
It's a healing mark.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
But
you think?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
dang,
I
this
w-
dude
I
couldn't
mean,
wait
I
to say
wouldn't-
Yes.
I wouldn't to the extreme. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
We're not
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
yeah, like cycling.
But
fist to the face.
Yeah,
We're not
it's-
talking
yes,
just a
about
quick
I would.
boom.
You know, what are you doing? Slap them on the hand, and I wouldn't take a broom to their
Hey.
ass or take a sandal to them.
What
or-
about Dopanjene?
Yeah.
What about the
Hell
hair
yeah.
quiz?
Mm-hmm.
Or the y'all ever got the hair?
Oh yeah, by your
pulled?
temple.
Oh, that
Oh,
shit
the
hurt.
hair on the sideburn. Pow.
Well, you do it right now. You probably cry too.
All right.
No, but
I don't believe in it.
I think a little like I wouldn't say like it's not physical abuse, but I would say like a little, like I said, a little spank to the butt, just to like
Yeah, it gets their attention. It's just a pop.
yeah, like I'm not doing it to like hurt you.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing this so it could be a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But I
For
would
me-
never do that again. Or
For me, I'm zero physical punishment.
hmm
Yeah. Because there's no proof that it actually works. There's proof that it actually has the opposite effect.
mm,
Yeah. So, for example, your dog, right?
right.
Dogs that get hit are more likely to bite people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because when somebody raises their hand, not even raise, like goes to pet a dog, they know that the hand can bring pain. So if they don't know that person, they're getting bit.
Yep.
Your dog might not bite you, but another person's hand, they're gonna get bit. So a kid is similar where kids that get physically punished, like whooping or whatever, at school, when they get into trouble, instead of solving a different way, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take a fight. Or other traumas that kids can learn from getting
Like backlash.
yeah. Other traumas that can happen is like, let's say your kid gets into a relationship and they get their ass beat by their partner. They're going to think it's tough love and they're going to stay in that relationship.
hmm
Opposite too, your kid could be the abuser because that's how you showed him love. So that's how he's going to show or she's going to show love to their partner
Mhm.
with abuse like that too.
Right.
Yeah, and those are the traumas that kids carry along with them. And that brings it back to how we were raised. It's a generational curse type of thing. Right? When we're whooped, we think it's normal to us now. It's so into us genetically because our parents got whooped, their parents got whooped. That it's been so built down that we think it's okay to whoop
Mhm.
our kids, but it's not okay.
hmm
This is not an opinion. This is not an opinion. This is not my opinion. This is actual studies, facts, that kids who are whooped are more likely to get into physical trauma or physical altercations or become abusive or not be able to realize that they are being abused.
hmm
I think there's a fine line.
Yeah, of course.
There's a fine line.
of
So do you look at kids nowadays and they're out there stealing and doing all this looting and all this stuff? Do you think they was spanked or they wasn't spanked enough or they was
Hell, yeah. If you go to, I don't know the actual statistics, but if you go to, I would be willing to bet.
none of
majority
them was
them
spanked?
was hella physically.
Hell no, I don't think none of them was spanked.
Yeah.
No, I do agree what you're saying,
And
Chai.
again,
Yeah.
this is not an opinion, right? I already told my opinion that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Uh-huh.
What I'm telling you guys is studies that kids that do get physical punishment end up like that more.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying that you
It's
will
gonna
end
happen.
up like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
The
I get what you're
chances
saying.
are
Are you talking to the extreme like they're getting spanked every single day?
No, I'm just talking
Or
about.
just like when
I'm
you
just
know
talking about you just tap them on the butt still.
Yeah.
That can snowball into being abuser
Mhm.
or not realizing that they're abused. Even that little part of it
Yeah.
can spiral into
And,
something.
and
like
that's where the parenting style has come in more.
yeah, you gotta
That's
tell
the
them what
parent-
you did was wrong.
That's
and
the
you can't
parents
do that.
Yeah.
part right there where it's like,
So I
Hey,
believe that
yeah.
you can discipline your kids without physically touching, like disciplining them, hitting them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, like generational curses, it's so ingrained into us that you think it's okay. It's normal. Like I turned out okay. I'm not robbing banks. I'm not killing people. I don't. Yeah, and I was whipped, so it's okay. But it's not. It's so built into your family that you don't even know that you're being abused. You don't even know that that's not okay. Like I'm giving you guys statistics, but you guys are still saying it's okay. It depends. And I'm not trying to be like
I can't hear you, Chai.
Oh, I'm not trying to be condescending,
there it
but
goes.
and we all have generational curses. Yeah, and so yeah, that's my piece.
I think there is a fine line. I do agree what you're saying that people who were very, I guess, that's the thing too. Is like if you got your ass whooped and you live in a household where there is just no structure, it's gonna be tough growing up. But I feel like if you discipline your kid with a little of, I guess I would say like huge abuse or physical like beats, like a little tap, a little spank, I think it's okay. Like I mean I don't have kids for my own, but me growing up being like getting whooped all the time, like literally I would like get my ass whooped because I was such a bad kid. It does bring trauma, but at the same time, I think I am kind of thankful for that, because
For getting spanked.
yeah, because I mean, if my parent didn't discipline me, I wouldn't know how to behave correctly. But at the end of the day, I think for me personally, there's a fine line. I'm not gonna do it every single time where he does something wrong. I'm gonna, spank him all the time. But I'll not sit down, but talk to my kid about what they're doing wrong, and I would tell him like, you don't jump like that because you're gonna hurt yourself. And then once he get hurt, I'm like, see, go to mall. See, now you have an owie. And then if they don't listen still, I'll be like, okay, come over here. I'm gonna like, a little spank him. But
Well, that's the
like,
thing is
Give
to
you a
avoid your knee getting broken. You should have just spanked him, told him not to do it, and it would have stopped like that.
I mean, there's a fine line to it.
Why are you gonna let him learn his lesson?
You have
breaking his
to.
knee
Damn.
instead of just
is that
instead of just saving his knee.
Yeah,
Now
is
you
that a-
just cost you $10,000.
yeah,
You
is
know
that
what I
a
mean?
consequence you're willing to put? Is
Yeah.
a broken arm versus a quick boom
But how
done?
come you guys can't just like, or whoever? How come people can't just be like, stop that, and you go stop them?
Because they're kids, they don't listen
There
like
are
that.
just kids who are just
And-
on a whole
Let's say
different
this
level.
kid-
Kids are
Yeah.
at 100
Yeah,
every time.
they're just kids who are just different.
Yeah. Let's say this kid was gonna cross the street and you told him not to cross the street. You spoke nicely, softly, hey, don't cross the street. But he didn't listen to you because there's no consequences of what's the action he's gonna
Hey,
take.
Fate.
So now,
So you instead of you not, spanking him or
Hold your thought.
just being aggressive, if you're not aggressive with the kid, he's not gonna learn. He's gonna run across the street. He's gonna get run over. Whose fault is that? Is that the kid or is that the parents' fault that they didn't listen?
Yeah.
A kid is gonna be a kid and run across the street.
Right. Hey, Fate. Side note, can we listen to your father's sensitive side?
My father? What do you mean?
As in, like, your father figure. Not I mean father figure, but like your
the father in you.
yeah. Let's
father in
hear
me?
it. Like your sensitive talk. Like me too. No.
No.
Let's hear it.
You'd be like, hey, you come here.
Hey,
That's as sensitive as you get.
That's how sensitive is it. That's how sensitive you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Just, hey, you come here. Come on.
yeah, I mean,
Dang,
I
that-
had those moments with my kids too. It's just like, hey, you don't need to do that. And then,
So I think
yeah.
from what I'm hearing is it might be confusing what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't discipline your kid.
yeah,
I'm saying whooping is not the discipline.
It's not
that you
necessary.
choose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand
I'm
that.
not saying I'm just gonna let my kid jump off the table
Yeah.
and break his knee.
Right.
Right? How I would discipline, or how I have disciplined kids in my life. I have little kids in my life too, not my own, but the kid that I disciplined that grew up with me, she just every time we go out the car in the parking lot, she comes and holds my hand, and I have never whipped her.
No, but that's different. That's not
Yeah,
your
yeah,
kid though. That's
That's-
different.
That's true,
It's
too.
not your kid, so
But
you
at the end
can't
of the
really
day,
touch them. Yeah.
But But at the end of the day, it comes down to the same principles, though.
It comes down to parenting in general. It's just different when it comes to parents.
Right.
Every parent had a different teaching, but it really comes down to the parent of like teaching them like, hey, you gotta hold my hand when we walk out. You know.
Right,
It's-
right.
yeah.
So if we take that
Yeah.
and we can teach kids to hold hands in the parking lot, why can't we teach kids not to jump on the couch without hitting them? Can we
Yeah.
not teach them like, don't do that? Come here, sit down. Let me tell you why.
Some kids will test you, bro.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that leads me
that's
to the next
mhm.
question, right? I was waiting for you to say that. I was holding my thought.
trap.
Do you guys believe that some kids are just born bad, like right out
No.
the vagina? They're just bad, and they just grow up bad, and that's why you have to whoop them. That's why you have to talk to them so aggressive. Some kids just test you. You just said that, right?
hmm
So every kid is born like that, or they learn how to be bad.
I think they learn,
Yeah, they
and
definitely.
that's where I say you spank them, and that's where they don't get to that point of being
Yeah,
bad.
so now the
So
follow-up question is, where do they learn being bad
Yeah,
from?
that's the part where it's
obviously from school,
Yeah.
you know, they learn from
Well, let's talk
school,
about a
Social
3-year-old that
media.
doesn't
Yeah.
go to school though.
Yeah,
that
that's-
jumps off the.
TVs and all that stuff. They're being curious, you know. They want to jump off the couch. They want to, you know, throw stuff around because they want to see the consequences. Well, not consequences. They want to see
I
what.
kids push the limit of everything, so that's where you gotta reel them back in. Like, hey, if you keep pushing, you might just die. And so I think
the
that's
way
where.
to teach them is to knock them
Yeah,
out.
it's not too. He's not.
No, we're
No,
not going to that
not to
extreme.
that
Not
extreme,
knock
but
them
it's
out,
definitely
but-
like, hey,
I mean,
you don't
that's
need
a
to.
little exaggeration,
Yeah,
but
like
to,
it's
yours.
That's
that
a beef.
extra. Just like, hey, you just need that little quick pop, because some kids are, kids' brains are scattered. They don't see.
mind you, we're not legit
Boom,
like
boom, boom.
freaking
Yeah.
spanking them.
Right, right. No,
or
I
Yeah.
understand that. That was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to exaggerate a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But
I think
Yeah.
it's just more the attention span. That's the hardest part,
So-
because that's one where kids will be kids.
yeah, so my answer to
Yeah.
that is if a kid is bad or naughty,
Mhm.
it's the parent's fault.
Mhm.
It's not the TV. It's
not
not
disciplining
school. It's not even about discipline. You're not teaching.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, of course.
I
Dude,
mean, of course,
nowadays-
disciplining
Yeah, of
is
course.
teaching.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the thing.
tough.
Yeah.
See, what I see here is like, it is the parents' fault because it's easier just to throw them a tablet.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
teach them what they're doing wrong. You just throw them a tablet.
So when it comes back around, if you have a naughty kid and then the only way that you think to teach them a lesson is to whoop them and they're naughty, isn't your behavior causing that naughty in the first place?
Exactly.
So why are
Yeah.
you continuing that?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make logical sense to keep punishing him and he's going to be naughty, but you're the one that's causing him to be naughty.
Yeah.
And you're going to punish him for that.
So who's to blame? Let's say if this
It's
kid.
never the kid's
I mean, it's never the kid's fault, but it's
Well,
definitely the
let's
parents
say this.
of like,
Yes.
what can they do
What I'm
else?
trying to ask, what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to is for you guys to explain your logic of why you think whooping kids work.
It's
So
it's,
far, is this everybody's opinion? I'm
Yeah.
trying to get you guys to explain step by step why you think whooping your kid works. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's just one of those where it's just too broad. You just never know. I mean, parents are parents. People are people.
Is it too broad though?
It
I
works because
stated
it's-
facts about why it doesn't
facts.
work.
Yeah, but as a parent, it's
Facts,
just
but yeah.
it's just one of those where it's just like it's you just got to do what feels.
So why can't we learn how to be better so we don't have to whoop our kids?
I ain't speak
Yeah.
to the mic.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's where the parents'
So
fault.
why should we whoop our kids
Yeah.
then if it's our fault?
Because they were whooped too. I don't know.
You guys
Yeah.
get what I'm
I
trying to
get
get
what
yeah,
to?
yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
But
If you guys
the thing
can
is
answer
that-
if you guys can answer what I'm trying to get to, then there's a real debate. But so far, it's just a lot of opinions, and
The
it's
thing-
okay. You guys can share your
the thing
opinions.
is that you guys when you guys teach a kid or the thing I gotta tell you I'm not a therapist or a child whatever. This is my opinion. This is what I'm gonna teach my kid.
right.
So like I said, I'm not gonna legit fucking spank them and all that stuff. I'll like pinch them and do all that stuff, and I'll like, you know, hit him on the head and stuff. Like, hey, don't do that again. Hit him on the hand. Hey, don't do that again. But it's to stop them from doing that action again. I don't have to go and, you know, repeat what I just told you 3 or 4 times. I shouldn't have to tell you that. It should just stand right there, nipping it in the butt, and that's it. So she's not gonna do it again, or they're not gonna do it again. So that's why I spank
Yeah,
my kid.
and it's one of those where it's just some kids don't know discipline, and
Some kids learn different.
they
they
just, it's
don't
one of those where if
they don't
they've
learn
never
by
seen
talking.
punishment, then it's like, oh, I don't know punishment. I could do whatever I want, this or that. We just don't know. Like, it's just as much as we want to program our kids, we don't know how they're gonna act. Like, as much as we try to, we just don't know. You just gotta be in the moment of like, all right, this dude does need to get a little bit of a quick snap or
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I would say in my personal life is like I was a naughty ass kid, right?
Mhm.
So, you
Is
know,
that your fault or your parents' fault?
that's just my fault.
Yeah.
You were the one that formed
Yeah.
that.
Like my
Parents
parents,
and discipline.
no, my
Yeah.
parents they were like, "Hey, don't go to that fire. Don't go touch that fire." I'm over here like,
Testing.
and then they're like, "Don't touch that fire. It's gonna get hot. You're gonna burn yourself." Of course, what I do? Touch that fire and I burn myself.
You should have got
You know?
spanked, and you got burned,
But-
and you got spanked for that.
But the thing about it is like,
burn it in Spain.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but the consequence of what I learned right there is like, don't touch that fire.
Don't touch that fire.
You know,
Don't get burned.
no, don't touch that fire. Just listen.
Oh.
Because what happened? I burned myself, and so it just kind of like that. There's that pain. It made me smarter. Because guess what? I'm not gonna touch that fire again.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of different ways to go about this, but some people believe a little pain works. Some people don't believe that you don't need pain to discipline your kid. You can just talk to them. There's a lot of different ways. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not therapists. We're not expert in this field, but this is, in my opinion,
Yeah.
You know.
So, kind of using a different example besides disciplining your kids as for generational curses, right? Something that's really prevalent in Hmong community is neglect. Because back in the day, your parents went to farm all day long.
Mhm.
If you was 5, you was grown. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
If you were
agree.
5 years old, you was either farming with them, babysitting already,
Yep.
or a 5-year. You guys know
Yeah.
what 5-year-olds in America look
Now.
like? They don't know nothing.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, but 5-year-olds back in our parents' time, like I said, they had
They was
responsibilities.
cooking
of-
already.
Yeah, they
bringing
knew
water.
how to cook already. They would know how to go pick greens to come cook. They did all that already. They
Yeah.
knew how to take care of chickens already at 5 years old.
Mhm.
So, like I said, it's a neglect, right?
Mhm.
It's survival, it's independence. But kids that grew up like that overseas, if y'all think kids here are naughty, the kids there are like, they don't listen to their parents at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's. Do you think it's because they're not scared of the parents, or the parents don't discipline them, or
They just don't see their parents enough to even acknowledge.
Acknowledge as parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to listen, or to, that's why kids over there, they were getting married at 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, of course, because they're mature at that age already. They
Yeah.
know how to cook and do all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, and by the time they're 18, 19, 20, they built their own house, they
Mhm.
moved out, and they have their own farm now.
Yup.
By the time they're 25 years old, 30 years old, they're grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
grandparents by the time they're 30 years old. So
Whoa.
that's like neglect, right? But over there, you have to do that because.
It's survival.
farm,
It's
yeah.
part of.
But our parents here, and it brings us back to like the sporting things, right? We're neglected too, and that affects us differently because we live in America now, and children who are neglected here, they
Mm-hmm.
develop different traumas as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the question is neglect okay? Because that's how our parents grew up.
No, it's not okay.
Yeah.
But at some point, eventually, us as parents, we're not gonna be there all the time. There's gonna be a point where we're gonna have to.
Right, but you would never leave your 5-year-old at home.
Of course, no,
Never.
no,
Yeah.
because his brother's gonna be there, and he's gonna be 6-year-old, and his 6-year-old's kid's gonna watch him.
Not even
So
a
of
lot-
course.
even Hmong families in America still do that. They'll have
Yeah, of
7,
course,
8-year-olds
yeah.
watch 4 or 5-year-olds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that also builds character for that kid. I would never do that. My older kid's gonna have to be at least 13 to know how to cook. To know how to cook to feed herself before I would be a trust in them
Watching a
to
smaller
watch
kid.
the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's gonna be certain times where you're gonna have to leave your kid at home because you need to go run to the store or run somewhere because you don't want to
Right,
pack
right,
up
but
your
we're
whole
talking about like
kids.
not leaving a 5-year-old kid though.
Yeah,
Like if you have a
Of course.
babysitter, that's
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you would never go to the store and leave a 5-year-old. Is what I'm saying.
no,
No.
So that's not okay with you.
Yeah.
no, that's not okay.
Damn, that was me. I was 5-year-old and my parents went to the chicken farm. I would just stay by
Yeah.
myself.
So is that okay?
I mean, for me,
But you got to think about
Yeah,
just like the
like-
farm. You're gonna carry this 5-year-old
Yeah.
in a hazardous place to go with you in the farm, carrying dead chickens and all that stuff. Is that okay? Which is
Like
which
no,
is
both are
bad.
not okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna stay home, and then now who's gonna pay all the bills?
yeah,
So that you also
Like-
gotta think about that. So you have to entrust in the little rugrats to know how to take care of
yeah.
themselves.
I think it's just more of a trusting your kids.
Mhm.
Because like when I was at 5, I was
I mean, it-
definitely left alone. But
And I'm not even talking
Yeah.
about like, oh, is your kid gonna hurt themselves?
Yeah.
I'm talking about trauma. Like being neglected creates trauma.
But you have to speak
Can you,
on why.
can you give
though.
us an example?
So for example, kids that are neglected that grow up, they are socially inadequate or socially awkward. They don't develop those kind of social skills. So like, it might be harder for them to get a job because they don't know how to talk to other people because they're so independent. They're so by
Yeah.
themselves all the time. You know.
Mhm.
So that's an example of creating a trauma for somebody, for a little kid that later on will give them a disadvantage, or that trauma creates a behavior like not being able to
socially interact.
with an interviewer to get a job. Yeah.
So let's say you're saying if they go to there's a family gathering, instead of taking the kid to the family gathering, you just leave that kid at home by himself. Now the next 10 years they don't know how to socialize with
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
and all that stuff. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like that kid may be really good at
Mhm.
taking care of himself
Mhm.
because he has to survive.
Yeah.
He'll be super independent. He'll be super disciplined. But when it comes to finding a wife or a husband, it's gonna be hard for him.
Talking to people.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Okay. It would be kind of hard because you take this kid, let's say you don't leave him at home and you take him to the social family. Now he's really socialized and all this stuff. And maybe he becomes the president or a doctor or something. That's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's
No,
one
no,
of those.
I'm not saying like
really hard to tell.
I'm not saying like this happens and this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm saying in general with studies, right? Medical studies that kids who are neglected will have a higher chance of developing social anxiety. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the fact that I'm giving you. And then you guys
So,
can react on the fact.
Like neglecting is just like showing not enough
So
attention.
not even like you leaving the house. You could watch TV and your kid comes and say, Dad, let me show you this. You're just like, no, go play over there. That's neglect.
Attention. So pretty much attention.
Yeah, not giving
Which
your
is
kid
not.
attention,
Yeah.
yeah, neglect.
Yeah.
Yeah, never playing with your kids, or just you just don't interact. Or when your kid's trying to get your attention, you just tell them to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's neglect.
Yeah. Of course, and that's different.
Mhm.
That's different from what I'm saying. Just
So
leaving the
you-
kids at home. Now, if
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so now now you're saying showing your kids attention. Of course, attention. I always show my kids attention and all that stuff. But would I leave my kid at home? It depends on certain.
We're not talking about the circumstances. We're talking about
neglect.
Yeah.
any kind of neglect. It could be not paying attention. It could be leaving your kids by themselves. It could be any kind of neglect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Yeah.
think what I would say about this is like it's you as a parent, if you neglect your kids, you're terrible.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, man. It's like, dude, those are your kids. Like, for me personally, I wish I had a better relationship with my parents. And I think that's something that I crave is not the attention, but the relationship. Because if I was open, if I was able to open myself up earlier in life to talk about anything with my parents, I think we would have a better relationship today.
Yeah.
But it's just so much easier for you to be like, oh, here's a phone, here's a tablet, go play by yourself, or it's easier. Of course, everybody's busy.
Is that
you know.
neglect? Just giving your kid.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
neglect.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
neglect, dude.
a phone doesn't give attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, a phone is.
I
not
agree.
It just
attention.
soothes.
I agree. I
It's
don't
a
believe in
distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so, if you have kids and if that's your way to, I just want to like relax a little bit. That's shame on you, man.
Right.
Because like honestly, dude, your kids, you brought them into this world, And for me, of course, there's gonna be times where I'm like, hey, I can't do that. I can't not right now. I'm really busy right now,
Mhm.
of course. But if that's all the time, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta pick your moments. Like
Yeah.
I will admit, like I am not the best father. Like there are moments where I do that, but it's like there are moments where it's just like I just need to work. Just let me work. I will get back to you when I can. Like there are moments where you just have to pick and choose, and you have to be okay with it.
Of course,
Like-
obviously,
like straight up, like there's no such thing as a perfect parent.
yeah, there
Yeah.
is.
You gotta
I'm not saying
pick
that.
your moments of
Yeah.
where you have to struggle just a little bit more, but you also have to know that like, hey, like through this struggle, it will bound.
Now,
It will-
are we speaking
come up
as
more,
in
yeah.
two parenting
Yeah.
or just
That,
one?
that doesn't
single-
matter. That
I
part.
feel like it does because with his
that's,
situation.
that's a different conversation. What I'm just
Yeah.
talking about, if you have two parents, you could still suffer from neglect. One
Yeah.
parent,
Yeah, of course.
even if you're in foster care, you could
Mhm.
be suffering
Yep.
from neglect.
Yep.
That part of it plays a different role. It creates a different.
That's a
trauma.
that's
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah, it
yeah,
creates a
different,
different
trauma.
trauma.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
We're just talking specifically what kind of
A typical
trauma neglect
marriage.
causes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and
that
it
ca-
can cause a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Another thing in the Hmong community that's kind of a generational curse that I see is PDA, right? Public displays of affection. So the reason why a lot of Hmong parents will never say "I love you" or hold hands, like couples never hold hands in public, is frowned upon, right? You don't want to show your affection.
What's up?
Yeah, or sushi loli, right? You guys heard that, right? Even just hugging
Mm-hmm.
or holding hands. Or even this is like even the super like they won't even sit next to each other touching. They would have to be like a foot apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or else it's PDA. It's too shameful. Yeah, so that's why we never heard "I love you" or "I care about you" or
Yeah.
"Come here, son" or a hug or anything like that. Now we're gonna talk about our kids, right? We can't fix our parents.
Let me tell you something, Chai.
Yeah,
After 7 beers, there's gonna be a lot of "I love you, son."
From you or your
After a couple
parents?
shots, it's
Say in general.
well, let me put you on the spot, B. If your
Yeah.
dad ever been drunk and come up to you and said, "I love you, son,"
No.
okay.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of different.
I love you, B.
I'm not talking about us.
Yeah.
I say I love you to you guys all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
But-
are my dudes. We hug. We shake hands every time we see each other.
In general.
I'm not talking about us. I'm
Right,
talking
right.
about generational curses.
Yeah.
What our parents suffered from their parents.
Yeah.
And they're pushing it on. They pushed it on to us.
Mhm.
Are we gonna do that to our kids? Obviously.
No,
Of course not.
You got everyone.
I think we're all pretty.
It's easy for that, right?
I love y'all.
I think
now-
I think it's more of a Western thing, in my opinion. Too.
Yeah. So now, let's bring it back full circle, right?
Yeah.
If you guys don't want to pass on this generational curse of neglect and no PDA, why would you guys do that with whooping? Why would you guys do that with whooping? If you guys
I
don't
don't
do that with
think-
neglect, if you guys don't do that with
Whooping is not a
PDA?
generational curse. I think it should be a form of discipline. I get it. Some people don't agree with it. Some people are against it and all that stuff. But
if you learn a different way to discipline your kids, would you do that instead of whooping your kids?
of course,
Yeah, of course.
Can I share how I discipline
Yeah,
kids?
of course.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's the right way or
Yeah.
it's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's worked for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put a kid in timeout, the timeout is my go-to discipline.
Mm-hmm.
When I put a kid in timeout, I don't make them sit there and I walk away. I don't time them. I don't lock them up in a room and leave them to cry.
Mm-hmm.
When I time out a kid, if I put him in a corner, I stay in the corner with them.
Mm-hmm.
We sit on the couch, I sit on the couch. If we go into a room and I close the door, I'm inside that room.
Mhm.
I'm in timeout with that kid. And I tell that kid, do you know why you're in timeout? Sometimes the kid will know. I'm talking about 2, 3-year-old.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about 7, 8-year-olds. Yeah, as small as 2, 3 years, okay? I tell them, you can't hit people. Okay? That's
Yeah.
why you're in here with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They need a reason why they're being punished.
Yep.
Yeah. And even then, if they're crying, I say, hey, if you stop crying, we can leave. And then they stop crying right away, right? And I tell them, hey, the reason why Uncle Chai did this to you, or the reason why I did this to you, is because, you hit that kid, or you stole from that kid, or you didn't share. Yeah. And then I always hug them. I tell them I love them. And then I tell them, and then of course, and then you change the subject if you want, or you go out the room, or you can, okay, go play now. That's how I discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, with timeouts, people think that when you put a kid in timeout, go to the corner, go to your room, shut the door. That is a form of abuse too.
Neglect. Yep.
Neglect, abuse. That's as bad as whooping your kids if you put, to me at least, if you lock your kid up in their room as punishment.
Because they don't know what they did wrong.
Yeah, they don't
That's the thing.
understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this go back
Fuck
to
my
what,
dad. Fuck my mom. God damn it. That's exactly how it goes.
The thing is that
It
you're
does
not gonna
do
have
that.
time to sit there
Yeah.
and explain to that kid what he did or did was wrong. There's
Yeah.
gonna be certain times when they're not gonna be able to explain what he did wrong.
But is that not, that little time, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not worth the sanity of your kid for their kid
Yeah.
to not have trauma? Is that not worth it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing that's so busy that you don't have time to talk to your kid about don't hit other people?
yeah, like this go back to what I was saying earlier. You know,
Yeah.
like you have to be open. You have to be willing to show your expression to your kids.
Right.
You gotta tell them, like, you know why I told you not to jump on that table or jump
Yeah.
down because you're gonna get hurt. You know, I told you that you're gonna get owie, so now you have owie. I think if you just open up as a kid, I mean, as a parent to your kid, even as young as 2-3 years old, I think they understand.
Yeah.
They're not as dumb as you think they are.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
they're
yeah.
smart, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, they are.
it's one of those you got to over explain yourself
Yeah.
a little bit more and just have that patience with them.
Simplify.
Yeah,
it too.
yeah,
Kid
simplify. Yeah, there's an
language.
over
Don't
explanation
talk to them like
of
they're 12.
simplify. Yeah, too,
Yeah.
where it's like, yeah, it's hard. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been in that situation where it's like you gotta like over explain, but also simplify, and then make sure they understand, and then make sure this and that.
Yeah, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier too. Like, you know, I'm glad that my parents, you know, I would say program, but the way they brought me up, because it showed me who I am, and that's why I said that if I was to ever be a father, I would know exactly what I need to do. I'll do exactly 180 what they did
Yeah.
to me. You know.
Do you feel like maybe the reason why you wasn't getting that much love is because you have so many other siblings, and it'll be hard for your parents?
Oh yeah,
to show-
obviously.
Yeah.
That's one of the factors too.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be a factor. Too.
Yeah.
You can't show enough affection to like.
Every single one of them.
Not even like a lot of siblings, right? Just 1 and 2 is a big difference already.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean,
Attention is split in half already.
yeah, I mean the thing too, you know, you could look at it like this too. I know some people who have like 12 siblings, and their pops are like, I mean, the parents are like, you know, there's 12 of you guys. I'm not gonna be able to show you guys all the love in the world.
Right.
He said it straight up. Like, I'm not gonna do one. I'm not gonna like care for one person more than the other
Yeah.
because it won't be fair.
Right.
And you know,
But at some point,
successful. They're so successful people too. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of how you approach things.
Yeah.
but at some point, one of that kid is gonna feel like the other kid got more
Black sheep
attention.
or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
kid got more attention than
Yeah.
that one kid.
That one kid fought for his love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no matter what, somebody's gonna experience some type of trauma.
Yeah.
This kid, he's gonna be. You got him in football, and you're more focused on this kid. But this kid doesn't play football. He just plays games all day. Well, how you gonna balance
Like,
that?
how do you connect
Yeah.
with that? How do you connect? Yeah.
So you buy him all the PCs he want. He plays games, but now this kid, he plays football. He feel like he's not getting attention, but he gets all the fancy stuff. But this
Yeah.
kid is, playing football. This kid is gonna have the trauma too because he doesn't get the attention that the kid that's playing football is, right? So no matter what, it's gonna be hard. You're not gonna be
Yeah.
able to show each and every individual kid love equally.
Mm-hmm.
So one kid is gonna be left out. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna.
I think that you and your wife, before having kids, should have
Of
this
course.
conversation
Yup.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta understand what you need to do what
Yeah.
kind of like the role you need to play,
Yeah, it's
sacrifices you gotta make.
it's really hard when one person disciplines and the other one's a savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you discipline, you both have to be the
Bad cop, good
Yep.
cop. Now you.
Yeah, now your kid's gonna have a
Yeah.
favorite, or your kid is gonna know who to complain or cry to
Yeah.
get what they want.
Both of your disciplinary stuff should be the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, even though me and my ex were separated, we're still really like good on that. Of like, hey, your mom said this, you gotta follow through. Your dad said this, you gotta follow through.
Yeah.
It's still that dynamic.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
don't jump on the couch, and your
Yeah.
dad's like, go ahead, jump on the couch. It's
Yeah.
okay. Now the kid's not gonna know what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
And I
so-
feel like that's one of the reasons why, I don't know for you guys, but for me sometimes growing up, I literally just walked through life with a lot of confusion,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
knowing what to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah, parenting is a hard thing.
Oh yeah,
Right.
probably one of the hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest job in the world.
For me,
Yeah.
it's right when your kids come, life does not get easier. It just gets harder and harder and harder. It doesn't stop. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, man, if you have no kids, you're single, fucking do whatever you want. But once kids come, just gets harder and harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me ask you a question
What?
regarding your statement right there.
What?
Would you give up things that you love to do, like your hobbies?
Yeah, I already done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you,
And why though?
I
And
mean,
why
it's
do
one
you
of
do
those.
that?
As long as you know yourself as a person too. Like I always knew myself as a person.
Let's just say, okay, like
Yeah.
for example, right? You love fishing, you love hunting, you love like going to play volleyball, whatever, with your
Yeah.
boys, and obviously now you have a kid.
Yeah, I mean, you got to choose what you got to sacrifice, but it's also you got to learn how to take care of yourself.
Right.
Like you still got to learn how to enjoy the little things that you were before you were a parent.
Right.
That's the mental health of, all right, it's okay. I could slow down a little. Yeah.
think
Okay,
that's-
to
Yeah,
love
it's okay to
yourself.
invest in yourself. Like
Yeah.
I learned that a lot too. Like it's okay to just take a breather. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty lucky in my situation where I don't have my kids for a week. So within that week, I just do whatever I can in order to make sure when my kids are here, I'm able to spend time with them.
Yeah, and I think that question is probably for like stay-at-home parents,
Yeah.
like either stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad. Where just because you're the stay-at-home parent doesn't mean you need to be there 24/7
Mhm.
doing everything. Like you should get a day off
Mhm.
or 2 or 3 or get vacation or learn how to love yourself too. Without you being good, how can you be good to the kid?
Yep.
Or yeah,
Yeah. Like it's a push and pull of just balance and
yeah,
a lot of communication. That's hard.
yeah.
That's hard because you do feel bad. Like, shit, I can't believe I'm doing this, but my kids can't see. But it's like,
Yeah.
you need to do this for yourself.
So let's kind of close out with this, right? So everything we kind of been talking about, parenting and generational curses, and were you guys brave enough to share maybe a trauma that comes from childhood or a generational curse that comes from your parents specifically that you will definitely consciously never do to your kids? Like if it's your parents whipped you and you're like, I will never whip my kids, or my parents can neglected me and I will give my kids all the attention they deserve.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you guys are willing to share something like that, or maybe you just haven't thought about it and don't notice it, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Definitely neglect of just like, I know I was definitely the one that was like kind of independent. I just knew what to do. I don't
Kinda
know.
grew up by yourself
Yeah, I just
as
kind
a
of grew up by
young
myself.
teen.
By the time I was 12, once all the siblings left, they were like, "Oh yeah, you could drive. You can do whatever." Hanging out with my older cousins, like
He wasn't
I-
driving on the highway,
Yeah.
guys. They lived on a farm and he just drove on the farm.
Yeah,
He
like-
wasn't
Like for me, I always made decisions by myself. I never had to go through it with my parents. Like
Yeah.
this was always like, if I want to go hang out with my cousins, hey, come pick me up. I want to go play sports. Hey, I'm at the sports field. I always just kind of did my own thing,
yeah,
which is kind of good and bad, but it was. I think I learned a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I would.
yeah.
I would also have to say neglect, because I feel like for me, I wish that I was able to know how my parents feel. I wish I was able to express myself to my parents, and I wish that
have more guidance. in a
yeah,
way.
for me, if I was to have a kid, I would definitely get to know who my kid is as a person. I feel like sometimes my parents don't even know who I am as a person,
Yeah,
or like how I feel about certain things. or,
yeah,
like my feelings, my thoughts. Like I guarantee you that they probably don't even know how I feel
Yeah.
about them.
Right.
You know, and so, I'm not gonna blame them.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of us.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
they can only do so much, but I'm thankful for what they did and what they had to do in order for me to survive and be where I'm at right now. But back to what you were saying, I would definitely not neglect my kids because I think that's something that you as a father figure need to have a relationship with your kids in order to really understand how they feel, what they like to do, what they don't like to do,
Yeah.
and you know, um, and I think the best part about it is that I wish that my son would be like one day be like, yeah, my dad's my hero, he's my best friend.
That's every father's dream.
Oh yeah. So, hey, it's a
I think for me,
You can cry. It's okay.
no, I'm just saying.
like I'm okay with my parents and them not saying I love you and all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
because like I said, I know they love me.
Yeah. Is
you know?
there something that you would not that they did to you that you would not do to your kids?
I think my parents and them did a pretty good job at parenting us. They did whatever they can.
You.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So from what I don't have anything, to be honest. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
my view on parenting might be a little different from theirs. Yeah. So I think man,
Like we're not talking about reading a book and learning how to grow. I mean, learn how to whatever your kids, right?
of course.
Talking about like what did your parents do to you that you would never do?
Maybe just part just the I love you and all that stuff. That's it. But like I said, I don't need that reassurance to tell them that they love me and all that stuff. But I would tell them here and there, hey, I love you. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah. For me, I think it's the pressure of success because my direct family line, from me to my dad, to grandpa to his dad,
Mm-hmm.
our great grandpa was like a governor of a town,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course our grandpa was a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and of course my dad went to medical school,
Mm-hmm.
and so the pressure's on me to be successful of some kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my trauma is that not only do I accept all these pressures, I create my own pressure on myself too, and I don't need to. The pressure doesn't necessarily is a good thing, and I would never put any pressure on my kids to be anybody other than my kid. Yeah, that's the generational curse that's been passed on to me and my trauma.
And so you look at that as a bad thing?
It is because when you have one little failure, like an F in French class on a quiz, you take that as you suck in life. It's not just an F on a. That's the trauma that I have now because of that pressure to succeed. Is I'm so strict on myself that one little thing that didn't go my way, I'm the harshest critic to myself. Yeah, and so. And I think that if I didn't have that pressure and I just worked out of joy and freedom,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have had way more success than having that pressure on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a very good conversation to have now that we're at this stage where we're becoming parents.
Yeah.
We're hitting that age where we need to discuss
Yeah.
what's wrong, what's right.
And the age
what's
where
the
you
fine
actually
line.
have something to look back on and reflect.
Right.
If you're a younger person, you can't look back on all that stuff and reflect. You haven't gone through anything really. I mean, everybody's different, but and we're talking about in general, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so you as a viewer, let us know what's the right way, what's the wrong way. What
What's the
what
right
would you
way?
do?
Yeah. What do you do that?
What
works?
would you do that works? I'm not saying there's a right way, there's a
Right.
wrong way. I don't think there's. It's a hard.
Correct
guess-
way to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard topic.
Or what are some generational curses from your family tree or from your community or from your culture? That'd be pretty
Right.
cool to
Mhm.
read in the comic.
Right.
All right, so yeah, let's just end it there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and then we'll see you guys
Yeah.
next
And
week.
check out our
Right,
Patreon
yeah.
for a lot of extra content, like
Right.
bloopers, stuff that we might censor here, it won't get censored there,
Yeah.
just for YouTube policies.
Yep.
Yeah, our Patreon, we're so slowly building it up, but it has a lot of cool content, guys.
All right,
Right.
thank you. Peace.
Yep.
Just remember, be yourself.
Remember me.
Yeah, man.
I go far.
Yeah. Be the better you.